Hello. That's a very nice Wednesday you've got there. It'd be a shame for something to happen to it. Yeah. So, I'm the Wednesday Discussable, also a James, like the first James, and then there'll be a Friday James. James is really popular. That's because we're awesome. Yeah, pretty much decided that now. So yeah. So our topics were the whole Soper, Pippa and actor thing, and the superhero, supervillain bit, which I'll do later because that's the more interesting bit to me, because I'm a big geek. I love superheroes. More specifically the supervillains, because they're usually a little bit unhinged and a lot more interesting. Like the Joker, he's awesome. Very unhinged, but fantastic. So yeah, Soper, actor and Pippa. Soper and Pippa are shelved, and they could be unshelved at any particular point where the lobbyists in the government and retarded members of government decide that it would be a good idea to try and implement it. An actor is currently going through Europe, unfortunately a part of the world I live in, and it's been signed by many countries. There are actually lots of protests going on in Germany, even though Germany has decided to sign it. But anyway, governments never going to win against this. You can't beat piracy. The only way you can get a grip on piracy is to provide a better service. This has been said by many people in the industry who actually know what they're talking about. You've got to provide a better service. When iTunes came along, lots of people went and bought music because it was much easier than a simple click from, say, LimeWire, which was one of the it was an old share file thing, and you often had viruses and songs were mislabeled or something like that. But iTunes came along and you could buy individual songs or albums, and it was much easier to obtain. Now, things like game, DRM, as I'm personally a big gamer, I love games. I have played video games since I was about 3 or 4 years old on the old Commodore 64. I miss those times. But anyway, putting in massive and opposing DRMs is not the way forward. You cannot beat piracy. If someone wants something for free, they will get it off the internet. You'll never beat pirates. Just putting that out there. And trying to enforce legislation, not the way to go about it. Again, provide a better service. Pretty much what I have to say on that. Also, Anonymous are awesome. Just, casually accessing files to point out corruption and things of that nature within governments and companies and all that jazz. I approve. Okay, so the second part was, if you could be a supervillain or a superhero, which would you be, and what kind of gadgets would you have? Because you're not allowed superpowers for some bizarre reason. Grrr. But yeah, I'd be a supervillain, and it would kind of be a mad scientist supervillain, because I love science, and I'm a little bit crazy, just a little bit, and my technology would basically be to change all the DNA in the world at a whim to kind of I say reduce stupidity, but kind of get everyone to a baseline of at least 140, 150 IQ. I'm not too bothered about emotional IQ. Emotions. Who needs them, eh? And I'd have a kind of probably a dart weapon, kind of attached to the wrist, and just fire out darts, and kind of anyone that's actually religious, that they go unconscious, and when they wake up, they believe in science. That's it. And of course, kind of, if anyone's actually played Mass Effect and you know of the Krogan, kind of, I'd create a plague that basically not eradicates, but reduces the birth population of a species to almost impossible odds. Kind of, not to the level of the Krogan, which was 1 in 1,000, but kind of for every baby that's born, kind of 99 aren't born, kind of thing. So, you know, there are lots of people having babies, and it needs to stop, or at least be greatly reduced. So, I think that's why people would think me a villain more than anything. But, yeah. Costume time! That would be basically me in a giant panda suit with a lab coat on. So the lab coat is over the panda suit, and I might have some cool gadgets and maybe some ocular stuff. Not really sure what kind of stuff, but kind of half Borg-ish. I'd be a Borg panda. I'd love to be a Borg panda. Because resistance is futile.